Coming up on God Did It Today, no fewer than 37 persons, including our brother Okwulu, survives a possible plane crash when the engine of an overland aircraft caught fire mid-air. Plus, 7 years of court battle ends in favor of Professor B.B Fakae, a one-time vice chancellor of the River State University. Our brother Nia'bari Fakae today tells us all about the victory. And we'll also get to hear in this edition an incredible story of how Amos 9 verse 13 manifested in the life of our sister John Ruth. You're on to Heritage News, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to God Did It on this special day that we're celebrating our mid-year Thanksgiving. I am at the North there in Ko Ogiga. Thanks for joining me. Now, you may have heard the story of how 37 persons escaped death when an overland flight from Ilorin to Lagos caught fire mid-air on the 15th of June 2022. The management of the airline attributed the safe landing of the aircraft to the crew members who, according to them, skillfully implemented their safety procedure for such occasions. Our brother Paul, who was amongst the passengers on board that particular flight, however, chose to give God all the praise, knowing that it was only by his mercies that he and the others weren't consumed, and he's alive today to tell the story. No doubt it's not by might, neither is it by power. And if you doubt, then ask a woman who has been in search for the fruit of the womb for more than 10 years. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but safety is definitely of the Lord. Moving on now, let's take a listen to our brother Nia'bari Fakae as he testifies of the faithfulness of our God towards his family.
This testimony is specifically for victory for my father, Professor B.B Fakae. Towards the end of his tenure at River State University, he made a formal application for transfer of service from UNN, his home institution, to RSU. My father, being a stickler for all the rules, followed the process by the book. At the end of his term, he did a seamless handover, eager to take his 12-year-long accumulated leave and then resume to retire professor. And this was, however, not the case, because some persons who did not fancy his good works sought to punish him by cutting him off. His name was pulled from the institution's voucher, with all his benefits and entitlements withheld for no reason. On seeking to discover why, he was told flimsy stories about the technicalities of his transfer of service, although it was rumored that the issue was political, and it was set to frustrate him for the toes he stepped on during his time in RSU. Upon getting legal advice, he took the institution to court in 2015. His case was dragged for 6.5 years, all of which had no benefits, no allowance, no income from the institution, and yet trouble of incessant court trips. This year being the 7th year, God did it. On the 17th day of June 2022, the court ruled in favor of Professor Fakae with a declaration that he be paid full 7 years of all his entitlements. This also included some settlement for embarrassment and damages, emotional and otherwise. God did it, and he has truly shown himself faithful for the Fakae family, and I'm here to return praise for his mighty works in our lives.
Absolutely remarkable, a beautiful end to many years of trial. Truly, our Lord is a God of justice. And lastly today, finally, it's my turn. That's the story of our sister John Ruth. Our testimony not only speaks to the power of faith, but also that of prophecy. Writing to us, she says, on the 20th of February 2022, I came to church like every other Sunday, but little did I know that was my Sunday. Whilst the testimonies were going on, I just said in my heart, I will share mine soon. I didn't know what I was going to share, but I will share something. Immediately, Pastor Larry came on board. The first thing he said was open to the book of Amos 9 verse 13. The Bible verse wasn't related to the message for that day. There and then I knew God was talking to me. I ran with that verse from 20th, and on the 25th, I got a job with 7 figures with an Australian organization as their partner manager for Africa, a position that will make me travel frequently to Australia and all African countries, with all trips paid by the employer. 26th, I did my traditional marriage. 27th, everyone returned back safe and sound. 28th, I got another offer with a United Kingdom organization as their regional manager for Africa. 29th, I got yet another United Kingdom offer, all in hard currency. Also with all paid trips to African countries and also visiting the parent company. I didn't know which to accept at the point, and I went to God in prayers. I told him I needed a healthy workplace because I have been a victim of a toxic work environment. Eventually, God led me to the highest paid, and it's been cruise since I started. My heart is at peace, and every little thing I do impresses my employer, even when I feel it's not enough. And no matter where I go, my tithe belongs to House on the Rock. Everything was happening so fast, I can't even keep track anymore, just as Amos 9 verse 13 explains it. Indeed, when you find yourself in that church or local assembly where God has destined for you and destined you for, you will do very well and prosper. When you find that workplace that God has destined for you and destined you for, you will do very well and your soul will be at peace. For your iron to float, you need to stay high on the Most High. You get why. One more, can I really say, a very heartwarming story from our sister, I'm sure you would agree. But as God did it for today, remember that you can also share your testimonies here on God Did It. Simply send an email to goddidit@hotrportharcourt.com. Once again, it's goddidit@hotrportharcourt.com. I am Atinode Inko Ogiga saying, keep your hope alive and never lose your faith. Heritage News continues shortly. Please do stay with us.